Hey guys, just got back from another visit with the Mormon missionaries, and some new things happened. Firstly, if you've been watching the previous videos, you'll know the two missionaries that I was with. I described them as Mormon Missionary 1, Mormon Missionary number 2. Number 1 was the one that was following my thought process and saw things that how I saw them, and started to get really confused. And Mormon Missionary number 2 was the one that was more or less offended at my poking at their religion. Mormon Missionary number 1 got transferred. I don't know why. They just said that she got transferred. Mormon Missionary number 2 is still there, and 2 new missionaries showed up today, which I'll call Missionary number 3 and Missionary number 4. Mormon Missionary number 3 seems atypical. Number 4 is a convert, and she's from India. She had a really thick accent, so it was kind of hard to understand her at sometimes, but she was a convert, and she explained her whole process of how she converted, because she was Hindu, and she thought that was totally crap. You know, there are many gods and all that stuff, and I don't know anything about Hindu to make a comment on it. Maybe I'll look into Hinduism later. But she said it just didn't do it for her, so she decided to become a Christian, and she settled on Mormons. So, new people. For today's discussion, we talked a lot of the process of getting faith. They really put off any idea that they have any evidence whatsoever that proves anything they say is correct. All they have is faith and their own personal testimony. And personal testimony just doesn't really do it for me. So that only leaves me with the faith thing. So they concentrated on that, and they put out a lot of passages in the Book of Mormon and Doctrines and Covenants that explains how to get faith, how to grow your faith, how to test your faith, all these things. And one of the big key notes to this is that you have to believe before you receive. So in other words, you have to accept the idea prior to receiving confirmation of the idea. That was not going to work. Basically, I don't operate that way. I have to have proof of something before I'll believe in it. So that was just weird. We talked about the problems that I was having because this whole evidence thing, and I went through previous evidence that I had collected that proved them wrong, and tried to show them the scientific method way of doing things, and they didn't like that at all. So then I tried explaining to them in a way that they could understand. Like, if someone came up to you and told you they were abducted by aliens, and you know they're strongly convinced of this, and they say they saw this, this, and this, they give you their very personal testimony, and they tell you, "Oh, I'm telling the truth. I saw aliens," and they tell without any evidence to back it up. You're right to be skeptical and be all like, "You know what? I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm suspending judgment until you can provide some sort of proof that this thing happened, because your testimony isn't good enough on its own." So there was that bit. Talked a lot about different things in the Book of Mormon that are not scientifically proven. You know, we went into DNA, and we went into materials and all kinds of stuff. And they just on some things they're like, well, they were the first ones to do it. That's why nobody else had, like steel in 600 BC, is because they were first to do it. So yeah, really confusing. But basically they're trying to tell me I have to have faith, and I'm trying to go with that, basically. I'm doing everything they tell me to do to receive some sort of spiritual enlightenment, to be touched by the Holy Ghost, as it were. So far, zippo. But they promise me. I mean, they look you square in the eye and they say, I promise you, you will get it. You just have to have faith. Some other things to note. I filled out a little bit more on my bio information on my channel. That was Together for Peace. He looked at my channel in a blog TV session with Abusive Anti-Theist, and he gave me some tips. So I filled out the bio. I used whatever skills I had to try and manipulate the audio system to improve the audio quality, because he said it was really quiet. So hopefully you guys are hearing me a little louder this time, seeing how that works. And thanks for watching.
Y'all know the name. Pharaoh fucking March ain't a damn thing changed.